Imagine waking to a world where everything you know, money, power, safety, crumbles in a single day. That day is closer than you think. In my last video, I unveiled a chilling timeline, predicting chaos would erupt in the Middle East between June 9th and June 13th. And on Friday the 13th it did, just as predicted. Israel's surprise attack on Iran ignited a firestorm, unfolding with eerie precision as foretold. Now, with the world teetering on the brink, I'm here to reveal what's coming next, and why you need to prepare now. The cryptic symbols of the animation iPetco 2 have long whispered of this moment. In its haunting imagery, the darkening of a classroom marks the war's spark, Israel's attack on Iran. The apple rolling across the floor counts the days to the next cataclysm, a seismic shift tied to the G7 summit's close, which Trump left early so that he could tend to the war. This isn't just another event, it's the birth of a new era, one that could see the global economy collapse into ash within days. My analysis points to this coming weekend and going into next week when this upheaval may strike. Are you ready for a world where your wealth, your choices, your very humanity hang in the balance? And do you have any idea what all of this means?
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Let's dive deeper. In 2010, Bill Ryan shared an insider's revelation, a script penned as far back as 1871 by Albert Pike, outlining 3 world wars to unveil the Antichrist to the masses. That script is unfolding right now before our very eyes, and so many are not even aware.
It starts with Israel attacking Iran. Now, this hasn't happened yet. There have been a number of indications that there are forces which are trying to push this into happening. You've only got to follow the news for the last 2 years to realize that the public is being prepared for a justification for this kind of thing. Iran is being set up as being the bad guys that deserve something to happen to them, and so on and so forth. Now, that's going to be the start of what is like the opening gambit in a big chess game. And the plan is to provoke Iran or China to retaliate. And our guy, our source, who is a military man, is privately as convinced as he can be, although this has never been made public and this is not publicly known, that Iran does have nuclear weapons. He believes that they have been provided by China behind the scenes. And all of this is intended because it's all right with these controlling forces that Iran has nuclear weapons, because they want them to be used. The plan is for either Iran or for China to retaliate after Iran is struck with a nuclear weapon. At that point, there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, followed by a ceasefire. He heard this being planned in this meeting. This is being choreographed. It's like the script for a movie. This is exactly what's intended to happen.
Iran's intent to close the Strait of Hormuz will send oil prices spiraling. This will be a deliberate blow to accelerate the economic collapse, and we see that concept in this scene from the iPetco 2 animation, where oil production grinds to a halt when the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz is prevented by Iran. Meanwhile, cyber attacks have gutted 2 Iranian banks, their customer data erased from their databases, and Iran vows retaliation. This aligns chillingly with iPetco 2's imagery of Obama's shoe on a British coin, signaling the end of money itself. Fiat, crypto, stocks, all gone. Soon, humanity will face a grim choice. Allow your body to be integrated into a new AI-controlled system, or lose your life willingly. For those who do not know, the best choice would be the latter. The stage is set for something massive. Iran's Fatah missile, proven to pierce Israel's defenses, could pair with Chinese-supplied nuclear warheads. Cargo planes from China landed in Iran just days ago, their payload shrouded in secrecy. If the intent is to provoke Iran or China into using a nuclear weapon, evidence would suggest that this would now indeed be possible and is expected to occur in the coming hours. With everything we see unfolding before us according to the script that we are now very familiar with, it is pretty clear to see how this is all coming together now. The US aircraft carrier Nimitz, slated for decommissioning in 2026, is now arriving in the Middle East. The iPetco 2 animation shows a carrier sinking amid a nuclear blast. Could this be part of the next false flag to pull America into the fray alongside Israel? With countless puzzle pieces snapping into place, the chilling outline of the grand design is impossible to ignore. Then there's Operation Blackjack, recently hinted at by Netanyahu's cryptic warning of nuclear terrorism right after the launch of the surprise attack on Iran.
We had information that this unscrupulous regime was planning to give the nuclear weapons that they would develop to their terrorist proxies. That's nuclear terrorism on steroids. That would threaten the entire world.
This narrative isn't new. It surfaced in a 2009 Telegraph slideshow with the title Operation Blackjack and the TV series Jericho, both eerily prescient. The dates unveiled in the 2009 slideshow align with uncanny precision to the anticipated timing of the upcoming world-changing event, and it is even more chilling when several other pieces of predictive programming point to the same time frame. The lotus flower in iPetco 2 blooms, symbolizing rebirth, right on schedule for June 20th or 21st from a June 13 start. But rebirth for whom? This chaos, orchestrated by unseen hands, paves the way for a deceptive savior to emerge, offering order amid the ruins, and an explanation for the sudden disappearance of millions. UFOs, UAPs, don't be fooled. These are lies to mask the truth and to place the blame for these events on Christians, who will then be persecuted until there are none left in the world. A Swedish boy's dream from years ago fits right in as well. A Friday morning in Sweden associated with the rapture, just in time for those who are ready to escape the coming chaos and destruction.
I'm recording this to translate for my son's vision, to try to describe what he saw in his vision given by Jesus.
Fredag,
On Friday,
det var så här att vi är hemma
on Friday we will be at our houses,
och då
and then
klockan 7 på morgonen
at 7 o'clock in the morning in Sweden,
så kommer alla komma till själva detta berget då. Fast inte på berget, utan vi har nere på sanden.
then everybody will be taken to this mountain, not on top of it, but at the ground by the sand.
The convergences are too many to ignore. Banks in America may soon face cyber attacks, blamed on Iran, China or Russia, as the US prepares to join Israel's fight. The script is unfolding and time is running out. This coming weekend may be exactly what these two clips were pointing to.
A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes. And the final takeover begins.
The takeover of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed multinational group of elites that will cull, kill, and subjugate.
This morning, our 8th largest consumer bank, American Homestead, was the target of an apparent cyber attack.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
As of this hour, the bank and its customers are unable to access their account.
Digital money will disappear,
They can just steal your money?
followed by the detonation of strategic electromagnetic pulse bombs to knock out major grids.
What will seem like an attack on America by terrorists or Russia.
Our first priority must be to safeguard the rest of our financial system, which is why, just moments ago, Congress passed the emergency measure I've now signed into law, placing an immediate freeze through the weekend on all financial activity.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
No wire transfers, no withdrawals, no credit card transactions. All markets will be closed until we are certain that we can protect other institutions from a similar attack.
This isn't just a warning, it's a call to act. The truth can set you free, but only if you embrace it before the storm hits. Watch my previous video for a more detailed breakdown and details on how to prepare. If you find yourself stranded in the new era, avoid the mark that will integrate your body with the new economy at all costs. It is a trap that trades your soul for an extension to a miserable life. The next few days could redefine everything. Will you be ready when the world changes forever? Until we meet in the air, God bless.
So, he takes me to his study, smoke a few cigars, and we're sort of flying high, laughing at almost everything. Eventually he starts in how much he likes me and how he wishes he could invite me on this trip he's about to go on.
What kind of trip? Where's he going?
That's exactly what I asked. And he turns to me with a serious face. And he says, "Oh, you know, just my annual meeting with the rest of the evil cabal that runs the world." He was the kind of guy that was always known for jokes like that. Again, if I told you his name, you would understand.
Well, I just have to take your word for it. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna pop off my light.
And then, yesterday before the symphony, my friend calls me up. No scheduled appointment like he usually does, just calls me out of the blue and wants me to move around some of his money. And we're talking some big numbers, even for him. And as we're getting off the phone, I asked if he wanted to grab a drink. He tells me he's going away for a while. I joke back to him, "Oh yeah? You hanging with your evil cabal this weekend? Thought that was only during the winter solstice." But he doesn't laugh. And he always laughs, even with bad jokes. All he said was, "Take care of yourself." Almost as if he felt sorry for me. Ever since, I haven't been able to get it out of my head.
Are you saying, are you thinking that your friend is somehow behind what's happening here?
No, nothing like that. The conspiracy theory about a shadowy group of people running the world is far too lazy of an explanation. Especially when the truth is much scarier.
What is the truth?
No one is in control. No one is pulling the strings. Sure, there are those like my friend who might have the right kind of access to the right kind of information. But when events like this happen in the world, the best, even the most powerful people can hope for is a heads up. Sorry, guess the story's kind of a buzzkill.